There's an interesting High Court decision there delivered in March 2025 by Miss Justice Siobhan Stack in the High Court. It reinforces the traditional legal roles of solicitors and barristers. In this case, the question was whether a gentleman whose name is John Desmond Mallon, whether he could directly instruct a barrister to act on his behalf and not instruct a solicitor. He wanted to instruct a barrister, Eugenie Houston BL, and the court had to make a decision as to whether this was possible or not. Bottom line is the High Court has reinforced the traditional legal roles and the long-standing principle that barristers cannot accept direct instructions from clients in litigation-related matters unless in certain exceptions. The case looked at the legal framework surrounding the regulation of barristers and solicitors in Ireland and looked at the significance of professional codes of conduct in the legal profession. And various bodies, for example, King's Inns and the Law Library, have their own codes of conduct, and the Law Society does as well. The case centred on a challenge brought by this man, Mr. Mallon. He sought permission to be represented by a specific barrister, Eugenie Houston BL, involved in a possession order granted against him in 2016. So this case involved repossession of property, I understand. Mr. Mallon argued that the restriction preventing him from briefing a barrister directly, instead of through a solicitor, deprived him of his legal rights. However, in her judgment, Miss Justice Stack said that the rules of the superior courts clearly stipulate that a litigant must be represented by a solicitor who is then responsible for instructing the barrister. One of the reasons for this would be to do with insurance. A solicitor would have a different professional indemnity insurance from a barrister, and would have a client account and would have insurance to cover client account and client funds and so on and so forth, whereas a barrister's insurance, I understand, is different. This requirement was vital for ensuring proper oversight in litigation and protecting the interest of the public. So the existing system where a litigant must be represented by a solicitor who's then responsible for instructing the barrister is vital for ensuring proper oversight in litigation and protecting the interest of the public, the judge said. Solicitors who are subject to court supervision act as the primary gatekeepers to the legal system, ensuring that barristers are properly briefed and cases proceed in a legally sound manner. The judgment also examined the regulation of barristers, noting that most barristers are governed by the Bar Council of Ireland Code of Conduct, which also restricts barristers from accepting direct instructions from clients except in specific circumstances. The court pointed out that the barrister in this case was not a member of the Law Library and was therefore not governed by the Bar of Ireland's code. Instead, the named barrister, Eugenie Houston BL, was subject to the rules of the King's Inns, the training body for barristers in Ireland. The King's Inns, however, also requires barristers to comply with its own code of conduct, which similarly mandates that barristers work with solicitors in most cases. The Legal Services Regulatory Authority, LSRA, also participated in the application, and under the relevant legislation, the Legal Services Regulation Act 2015, the LSRA's Code of Conduct takes precedence over other regulatory codes in case of conflict. The LSRA's code explicitly prohibits barristers from taking direct instructions from clients in contentious matters. The court acknowledged the plaintiff's argument that European Union law might require the disapplication of the rules of the Superior Court in this case. However, the judge found that the plaintiff failed to demonstrate how EU law applied to this situation and no legal basis to depart from the established regulatory framework governing barristers and solicitors in Ireland. This ruling is significant because it reinforces the traditional division of roles between solicitors and barristers, and also for the court's reliance on the codes of conduct that regulate the profession, including the codes of conduct from the Law Library, the King's Inns and the Law Society. The case involves Mr. John Desmond Mallon, who's the plaintiff, suing the Minister for Justice Ireland and the Attorney General for the right to instruct the barrister directly. The judgment was delivered on 4th of March 2025, and I will put a link to that decision underneath this video on my YouTube channel. You can have a look at it. It's worth having a look. It's not a huge, very, very long decision. It's only 19 pages, and it's well worth a look, and it looks at the reasons as to why we have this system and the reasons as to why a plaintiff or in litigation cases solicitors must be instructed, who then in turn instruct barristers. Hope you find the video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button down below. Thank you very much.